In 3, 2, 1. Hello, and thank you for listening and watching the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your host, Max Trujillo, and we've got someone that's been on the show before, but it's been a bit. Ready to get inspired, everybody? Because he's seeped into my brain. He's got me inspired. It's everyone's favorite restaurateur out here, Mr. Tyler Helikson. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me. Great to be back.
Yeah, man. It's been a couple of years since you've been on the show. For listeners that are avid followers of the show, you'll know, or even if you just live here in the Raleigh area, you'll know, you'll see Tyler walking around, going in and out of his various businesses, such as Happy and Hale, which if you're looking at the camera, we're on YouTube. There's a nice little bag. I think you brought us something to eat.
I did.
Yeah.
I brought you dinner. I figure we could, I don't know if you've ever eaten on the show before, but
yeah,
we got your ahi poke bowl.
Oh, okay.
And I brought
many times, and it's great.
And I brought a create my own for myself bowl. I picked it up today from Happy and Hale North Hills.
Yeah. For those that also like to do some fine dining and go out there and eat, Tyler also brought us what I did declare the other day when someone asked, might be the fanciest and coolest restaurant in Raleigh. I'm talking about Madre.
You're sweet.
Madre out there in Smoky Hollow. We connected a little bit with your team, by the way, is awesome over there with Red and Michael and all, and brand new chef, Tracy. And so cool place. You were our VIP lounge for the Bubbles and Brisket, little oyster thing. And you have the Moon Room, which is right across the way, which for a short while was a brewery, but it's kind of found its place in what it is. It's nice. It's low lit. It's a cocktail bar, but it's kind of got some range. You'll have some live jazz. You're doing CBD, THC cocktails and beverages. You got tapped keg cocktails there too. So everything's like efficient and fast. Over these last few months, I guess, I don't know, you and I, we've just connected a whole lot more on various things. And if anyone has ever spent any time talking to Tyler, you know that you leave feeling inspired.
I appreciate that.
I leave feeling very inspired because I've watched your growth over the years, both as a business person, and then I think what brings us today to talk about probably more important things is like the body, mind, soul, all that connection. Yeah. So maybe let's start there. Where's your head been these last few months?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, do you mind if I crack this?
Yeah.
So this is our create your own bowl. So over the last couple of months, I've really started to dial in the nutrition. And so this is a little bit of romaine lettuce. We have some basmati rice, double chicken, of course, get the protein going. We've got corn, sweet potatoes, black beans, and a little bit of cilantro and a non-fat Greek yogurt-based Chipotle ranch. So good macros, good calories. And honestly, it's a lot of food for, $12, $13.
Yeah, I will say that you're not the only place that does like bowls, but you're the only place that does a bowl that doesn't leave me starving at the end.
Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, we try to give you enough food, not too much, to kind of help with portion sizes, but also great value. So anyway, I was on the podcast. I guess that would have been during COVID. I want to say 21, 22. So it's been a couple years.
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, that's what we were doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Happy and Hale. Hale means in robust good health. So I've always kind of grown up around the restaurant/fitness industry. My parents own restaurants inside the YMCAs in Charlotte. And so that kind of set my foundation. After I stopped, I walked on the football team at NC State, stopped playing football, dropped all my playing weight, and kind of realized in that moment that eating healthy and feeling good just made me happy. I felt in control of my life. I truly felt like I could do anything. Yeah. And that's kind of how the name Happy and Hale was born. That was 12 years ago. Tricycle, street corner, right out there, golf cart, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
In January this year, I turned 40.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I call it midlife. You got to start to think about where you've been, where you want to go, et cetera, and really decided to lock in. In end of March of this year, I met a woman who changed my life and instantly shrank the distance between the man I was and the man I wanted to become.
Yeah.
I certainly had some habits that I was still carrying with me that weren't aimed at my highest self and or healthiest self. And so realizing that I saw a future with this woman, realizing that I saw not only marriage, but potentially children with this woman, I said, I need to get strong. I need to get in the best shape of my life, not only to keep up, but just to raise a family and then to be just the best version of myself I possibly can be. So last couple of months, I've really dialed in. I've dropped a lot of bad habits that, are socially acceptable, I'll say, but at the end of the day, call it instant gratification, cheap dopamine. And since late May, early June, have really dialed in physical health, spiritual health, mental health. And that's kind of how you and I ran back together.
And now you're about 100 days into all of this. No more than that. Yeah, but roughly 100 days in, give or take. And you and I mean, and if anybody's been listening to the last few episodes, if you've listened to like this podcast in this calendar year, you'll know, for one, I do the show by myself now, no longer with Matt, but I also moved out of my home where I share my children, and we're going through a separation. It is all very positive, as much as you could really think of it. It genuinely is. Both and everyone knows who my ex is, Felicia. She's great. We talk multiple times a week about great stuff, and like we're right there, which is nice. Like we're friends, and we'll be pals forever, which I think is great because we're co-parents, and that's the way to do it. Yep. But it has been a weird twisting and turning path these last few months, trying to find myself, like where I'm at as like a single guy, try to be a great father to my children, trying to be fit. Everyone knows I like to indulge. I like to drink. I like to eat. I like to party. I like to stay up late. I like to fraternize with everybody that wants to talk. And none of those things are necessarily bad if they're done in moderation. And I think that's what you and I were talking about, was just now I have that want to get kind of on that really cool path. And you did something unique. And so far, to the people that I've talked to about what it is, they're like, oh, dude, I want to be a part of this. So to listeners, this is cool. Tyler's, as he called it already, he's locked in. It's the great lock-in. And he ended up kind of branding it and turning it into a thing where a bunch of guys that are in our, our demo, right? Like I'm probably the oldest guy on the whole thing. And the youngest person's probably
it's a wide range. Yeah, it's college kids to
mid-20s to like
early 60s, honestly.
Oh, maybe there's somebody older than me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
You're right in the middle of the pack.
I've been there. So, but we just started, and we're kind of like, a support group for a bunch of guys that want to do better things for their own personal life. And like you said, become like the man that you want yourself want to be, but also who you could be for your partner, for your family. Like you currently do not have children, but that someday may happen, and that'd be great for that. And I do have children. And so it's very important to lead and be in charge of yourself. So it's been cool. Okay. So this is somewhat new. So listeners, you're going to have to hold me accountable. And this is kind of part of it. This is where the support comes from. We just met, we had a little Zoom call with roughly, it was like 20 guys on the call. I think ultimately there's about 30 some odd people that are involved. And now we're on a Slack chain, and we're like, everyone's communicating and coming up with all these great different things. But you maybe start off with how you led the presentation, because you talked initially about, and you can tell as much as you want or not,
sure,
about the things that you decided to kind of minimize in your life.
Yeah. So I posed the question on Instagram probably about 3 weeks ago now, just one Monday morning, I think it was. And I just said, if the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, this message is for you. And I'm putting together a group of guys who are looking to improve their lives physically, mentally, spiritually, and let's do it together. I've never done quite something like this before. A lot of people make New Year's resolutions that ultimately fall flat for a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. So this was a social media trend that I saw, the Great Lock-In, and it's basically from September to end of December, roughly. We started mid-September, so 104 days of doing everything you can, taking steps forward each day to create an upward spiral to be, by the end of the year, completely change who you see in the mirror. And it's highly possible, right? One day in the gym, you don't notice anything. 2 days, don't notice anything. But 100 days in the gym, or 90 of those 100 days in the gym, are actively working on getting better every day, the upward spiral starts to happen. So that was the idea. And I was blown away by the response, both from men, and also I was more touched almost by the amount of women, encouraging women that said, hey, this is amazing. Hey, can I get my brother involved? Can I get my boyfriend involved? And I just think, it can be lonely as a man because, we're trying to lead. We have a lot on our shoulders. And I think it's really nice to have a support group of other men who are like-minded and all want to improve. And improve in different areas too. Everyone's not the same in this group, which is great.
That's the part that kind of sold it for me, was with this group. I don't know everybody, but I do know some of the guys, and it's not like a bunch of fat dudes that are like bumming on the corner. These are like professionals of different walks of life that are already doing pretty well. And I would say from the outside looking in, like, hey man, like you seem like you're kicking ass in all these different ways. But of course, no one knows what everybody's going through unless you're living inside of their actual brain. But everyone wants to improve at some point in their life. And so no matter where you started from, it's more just where you want to finish. And so, yeah, all of our journeys will be a little different. But like, for me, I was like, I want to lose some weight. I want to slow down on the drinking. I want to eat healthy. And just be in a better frame of mind. I used to be like the most positive, just kind of energetic, excited about life type of guy. And I haven't felt that way in a while. So it's like you got to figure out like, what is that? And I realize it's probably the lack of motivation and discipline and like putting myself out there. So
yeah, discipline equals freedom. And, the more disciplined you are, more days in a row, the freer you become. And I assure you, that zest for life, that enthusiasm, that optimism, it starts with your physical health. Mm-hmm. If you eat well, which is 90% of the battle, if you can eliminate your reliance on alcohol, which alcohol obviously then turns into late nights and unhealthy eating, and it's just this downward spiral of unhealthy activity. If you can reduce the other things in your life, sitting around watching Netflix or, just stuff to numb, stuff to escape life and not engaging with life. If you can eliminate those things, if you can get a fitness routine, if you can start walking 10,000 steps a day, minimal, like really big on that, both for physical and mental aspects. If you can do those things and put a string together and get these tiny wins to start, anything's possible. And again, you can be completely unrecognizable in 100 days. And for me, since I started in early June, and this was never my goal. My goal was to create the absolute best version of my life. So I had to ask myself, hey, if you want to, John Mayer said this. He said, after he went out for, I believe, Drake's 30th birthday. He tells a story and he got rip-roaring drunk. They all had a great time. But 4 days later, he was still hungover. Bill looked in the mirror and said, John, what percentage of your potential do you want to reach in your life? He said, if it's 60%, cool, keep doing what you're doing. If it's 100, you got to stop drinking right now. And that's basically the moment I had in my life just a few months ago. And I decided that 60 was not enough for me, for my future wife and my future children. So since mid to late May, early June, I've dropped 20 pounds, 3% body fat, 3 inches from my waist.
Wow.
And again, those are just the byproducts of doing all the things right. I wasn't really counting calories. I said, hey, here's how I'm going to shift my nutrition. Here's what I'm going to do on a daily basis from both a walking and a resistance training at Capital Strength and Fitness with Matt, who you met.
Yeah.
And these are the habits I'm going to create. I'm going to eliminate alcohol. I did that roughly cold turkey. And a few other things that were habits that were giving me cheap dopamine, instant gratification. And I just needed to develop that discipline muscle. And here we are. And that kind of led me to our conversation initially and then starting the group.
Yeah. And so like if we compared this to like one of those 80s aerobics workouts, Tyler's doing the high elevated version of it right now where he's kicking his legs extremely high.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm doing the other version where it's the intro level where like, right, we're going to get there. But I will say this, since I've been chatting with you, even before we officially started, because we were kind of gearing up for it, I've worked out every single day. And at least like got moving My neighbor and I, we walk around the lake early in the morning before like anything even starts. And then I have a gym at my apartment, so it's like it's nice to just go there and just kind of do a couple of things. I had so many beers in my house just because it was summer and like
Sure.
I get free shit from people all the time.
Sure.
So of like course like somebody gave me like 4 cases of like really good light beer and I was like, oh man. So now I've got all this and I've just been slowly giving it to my neighbors and all. So purged a lot of beer. I may or may not have alcohol, though. I think I had like a couple vodka sodas over the weekend while I was doing a fun thing with some friends. But then I was like, yeah, I'm good. No more. It's easy to like not engage in the things when, let's be honest, a vodka soda kind of sucks to drink. So it's like, if I'm not drinking this because I enjoy it, then why am I drinking it? Oh, just to get drunk? Well, then maybe we just don't do that.
Well, that's the thing. That again, that goes in the cheap dopamine, instant gratification. Don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of fun with alcohol over the years. There's been a few times where I did not like who I became. So not only was it for that reason, but just overall physical health reasons as well. My mental clarity has never been stronger. My physical health has never been better. And I had to ask myself, is this serving me anymore? Mm-hmm. And if the answer was more no than it was yes, then I had to part ways with it. And obviously we talked to the group the other night. A lot of guys' success started with giving up alcohol.
Yeah.
I'd say over half the group said, I'm now sober for 100 days or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
Or one of the guys on the call, it was his first day of being sober on that call.
That's right.
So, which is a cool start.
Yeah.
So it just, and I used to work in the alcohol business. Obviously, I sell it at Moonroom and Madre. So I don't demonize it, but in moderation, some people can handle it. For me, I just had to walk away from it. And, I'll probably introduce like a glass of red wine here and there.
Yeah.
Like with a steak, because I do enjoy that. But the days of drinking 10 vodka sodas out and about in downtown Raleigh are probably behind me.
Yeah. And I appreciated that as we have this conversation, that it's like, this really is all about kind of just finding your own inner peace and your own self-motivation. But the nice part is we've got a bunch of guys that we either don't know at all or kind of know a little or know a lot. But that range is cool because like we've already set up, I've noticed the whole team setting up. We've got a potluck coming up. It's going to be like a healthy potluck. A bunch of us are going to get together and meet up and eat really good, healthy food. We're giving each other like some business ideas and some culinary ideas and some workout ideas. And like, maybe we'll do a pickup basketball game where we're all going to meet up at a gym and do whatever. But that's the nice part, is to have a team, and then it's like, you're not just doing it by yourself and you want to make progress. You want to be on the team and kind of do it that way. And that's where I was at. And even today I picked up my daughter early. She had a half day at school. When I picked her up, she's like, I'm starving. I'm like, yeah, well, I have to go see a couple of accounts. And one of them's at Crabtree Mall. And she's like, oh, let's go up there and get some payway. And I'm like, okay. And so we went up there and she's ordering all these noodles and, crispy fried chicken, and I was like, there's no way I'm ordering anything from here. She goes, are you serious? You're really doing it. I go, yeah. And I went to the Greek place next door and just had a Greek salad with chicken thrown on top.
Man, good for you.
And
I'm so proud. That's amazing.
Yeah. The salad was great. Everything was fine.
It's hard. Temptation is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first thing for me. I'm a snacker. Like if there's snacks in my house, I'm eating them. So I had to get rid of all those calorie bombs. I had to get rid of anything that would tempt me and lead me astray. That's just kind of how I've always been. So remove those pieces. Try to avoid food carts, like mall food courts at all costs. And but there's also there's healthy alternatives if you're committed to it. Even eating out.
Yeah.
Butter and oil is where a lot of calories hide. So for me, the first step was trying to get myself in a calorie deficit, and I was pretty regimented with what I ate. I didn't really eat out that much, but if I did, I would make sure that what I'm eating was clean, protein forward, etc. So there are options. But hey, man, I'm really proud of you. That's incredible. To stare payway in the face and choose a Greek salad that's a huge step. I mean, and here, think about this, man. Once you start seeing your face thin out, seeing your body thin out, and you start feeling having more energy, your daughters are going to be the first ones to notice that.
Yeah.
Felicia will notice it, and they'll say, wow, you're really different, and for the better, and you'll be able to show up for them better. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Success begets success, momentum, all of that, and it's good. I mean, for me, believe me, I know what to eat and how to do it. I know all that shit. I just choose not to most of the time. And, but it's kind of like, I'm not doing this for anyone other than me now. And I feel like a lot of times when I was doing a workout regimen, it was like, oh, my wife could probably want me to be a little trimmer or maybe drink less alcohol, or, like my girlfriend might want this or do whatever. And it's like, now I'm just like, this is all for me.
Well, as we talked about when we had lunch last week, and the video I sent you, it's not the biggest mistake about love is that people think love is finding the right person, but love is about becoming the right person. Yeah. So right now in this stage of your life, it's not about anyone else. It's about Max becoming the right person for yourself first and foremost, and your daughters and your family. And then when you get into a relationship, you'll be that much better, and you won't be chasing that. You'll be attracting it, and you'll be attracting the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
That's the key.
And I feel that, which is kind of part of like a lot of my own personal stuff. I just needed to be alone. And that's kind of where I'm at now.
Disappear, man. Disappear. It's only 4 months. Remember, it's less than 4 months. And this will be challenging too, because Thanksgiving and holiday time.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
I already have a plan for what we're eating on Thanksgiving.
I saw there was a Thanksgiving coming up. That'll be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's only 3.5 months. I mean, when you get out of this program and you're reset and you feel great, those parties aren't going anywhere. People are still going to be out drinking. People are going like, none of that's going anywhere, but you will engage with that so much differently because of what you just went through, and it will be a fresh start. And you just won't look at booze the same. You won't look at food the same. You won't look at your relationships the same. It's a reset. I want to preface this by saying, I am not a dietitian. Yeah. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. But I know it works for me. Yeah. I try to eat as many single ingredient foods as possible. I try to lean protein forward. And the staple of my diet over the last 4 months has been extra lean grass-fed ground beef.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it in a skillet, throw some veggies in there, throw some spices in there, throw it over a bed of chopped romaine with a little Greek yogurt on top. I'm in heaven. It's delicious and nutritious. And you get a lot of protein and not that many calories, and you're full. So, but also like if 95% of your nutrition and your diet is within the guidelines that we've discussed, you'll be fine. Yeah. So enjoy yourself.
Yeah. It's so funny, man. Just let's take a little pause from like what we're talking about, and kind of, I want to hit this from a different angle right now. So you're a restaurateur, and yes, you were in the liquor industry for back in the day, and then Happy and Hale came on, as like a small little salad place. And for those that don't know it, I don't know, and not to oversimplify it, but like you've probably been to a Cava or something, and I would say that they're like in your category, your competitive set. But I think there's a little bit more specifics of what you're doing and the sourcing and all that. So like I'd say Happy and Hale is like an elevated Cava, if you will. All that is to be said. You were doing fast casual, really healthy products. And then all of a sudden, Madre comes along. And Madre is like a really nice, fancy, classy, like it's where you will take a date. I have taken dates there. It's where you'll get cocktails with company before. We've recorded the podcast there, meeting the chefs at the times. And there have been some notable chefs that have worked for you over the time. But like, I'm bringing this all up because I didn't know Tyler was going to be a restaurateur of like a high class place. Like this kind of came out of not nowhere, but you've been working on it for a while. But where did that come from for you?
I guess I really didn't either, to be honest. And it wasn't, I wouldn't call myself a restaurateur by any means, but I moved into Smoky Hollow in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
My passion is bringing people together. I mean, that's how I would summarize it as succinctly as possible.
Yeah.
Everyone has to eat, so I love bringing people together. So I had Happy and Hale, kind of breakfast, lunch, dinner, sure. But like that daytime healthy part. And then the opportunity came up. My best friend from childhood and I invested in the restaurant. We brought some incredible people over who, some of them are working at Barcelona Wine Bar where we met there. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, we have an opportunity to do something similar in Smoky Hollow. So we helped the team get it off the ground, and they completely ran with it. That then spawned off into Moon Room, the jazz club. But I love bringing people together. Madre is a different form of that versus Happy and Hale. Happy and Hale is a little bit more on the go. out and about in the world where Madre is, come in, unzip your skin, low lights, candles, great team, great service, have some plates. And I love Spain.
Yeah.
I love the European way of life in general.
Yeah.
Brian and I are my partner in Moonroom and Madre. We were in Amsterdam recently. I just love the European way of life. So that was my foray into the full service industry. That and, then we did the bar at Moonroom. But we have an incredible team. I don't really spend that much time on those anymore. They are off to the races. I'm really proud of them. My main focus, all of it is Happy and Hale.
Yeah. And that's also kind of an interesting thing as well, is that you've been able to, maybe it's just you being grounded or so, or just not feeling the need to overthink everything. But most people, including myself, if and when I own restaurants, it's like, that's all I can do is think about it. But you brought on a really good team, and and I've done work with them, and like I sell food in the area, and like with Bubbles and Brisket, like the minutia that goes along, as time goes on, like you've empowered your team to make all the decisions, and they make them, and they love this place just as much as you do, if not even more. Yeah. And so like there's a true embodiment of the soul of that place, and it comes from your team. So it's pretty cool that you're able to own a restaurant and then also like probably not have it keep you up at night. Like I don't feel that Madre.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, do you get stressed out from Madre? Like it doesn't seem like it.
It's a completely different animal. It's large. There's a lot of moving parts. So I don't know. I don't get stressed out really that much in general. I have pretty good ways of not only trying to foresee challenges that may arise, but also dealing with them from a mindful standpoint in the moment. But again, like you said, for me, find the best people you can, set them up for success, and get the heck out of their way. That's kind of how I live my life with my businesses. And just in general, it's like, you gotta trust. And, it took me a while, I would say early on in Happy and Hale days, even some early pieces in Madre, to like learn how to let go and trust. And once you do that, things get a lot better.
Well, it shows. And it's cool for the food and beverage industry in this area to actually have something kind of fancy back in the space, because now we're in a spot where the food and beverage industry in Raleigh is starting to emerge again. Even in Smoky Hollow, you've got the Crunkleton, which is, starting to make some great steaks out there. And Midwood Smokehouse right next door. But then, Aja, still one of the best places in town to eat. That's, Cheaty's in Paul's Place.
Sure.
And just new places opening up, and kind of like growing in this space. Raleigh's still, sadly, like we lost some traction when it came to like where we stood in our place, both just in the South or in North Carolina. I think Charlotte never slowed down, and now Charlotte's kind of like the food capital of our state. Sadly,
I would respectfully disagree.
Sadly, for now,
but carry on.
We'll come back. We'll come back. No, it's all right. It's Charlotte's time. They can have their time. But Raleigh, there's too much entrepreneurship and creativity out of Raleigh that keep us down. We just kind of needed some new money to come back in this place and reinvigorate.
And new development. Real estate. I think Raleigh-Durham is the least available market for prime real estate.
Yeah.
Right behind Nashville, or right in front of Nashville. So real estate is challenging. A lot of new projects are starting to come out of the ground, which is great. Mm-hmm. But I've always thought Raleigh this is just my opinion, but I thought Raleigh's food scene was slightly superior to Charlotte's, because at the end of the day, food is art. Chefs are artists. And I just feel like from an artist community, at least in my humble experience, I feel like we have more artists here, and more artists want to settle in Raleigh. Yeah. Just given the soul and the culture of the city. All that to say, I've had some great food in Charlotte, and I'm from Charlotte, so I wish them nothing but phenomenal success.
Yeah. Well, so let's get back into this lock-in that we're doing and kind of the support thing. So, you're talking about doing some meetups and all that. So in your space, like, how do you incorporate your life with the usage of the team, right? Like how do you make time to be a part of this group of guys while still maintaining what you're doing?
Yeah, that's the best thing is I'm really not changing up a whole lot of my routine that I've been doing the last 100 days. I'm just extending it for 100 days and then for the rest of my life, and just ask, hey, who wants in? Here's what I'm doing. Here's what's working. There's still a ton that I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So let's bring a group of guys together to inspire, to motivate, and to hold each other accountable. So it was a natural transition, and it's really not requiring that much extra bandwidth because now that the ball's rolling, it's really neat to see people owning different pieces of this puzzle, whether it's setting up communications, whether it's wanting to host workouts, whatever that may be. So again, it didn't really require that much extra bandwidth, just facilitating things from the start. And now it's kind of gaining momentum and the upward spiral has officially begun.
Yeah. And it's so funny to, there's a couple guys that were shy that didn't want to speak. One of our mutual friends was on the call, by the way, and never spoke. And
There's a reason for that, though.
There was a confusion in the names, right?
That's what he told me.
Yeah. And I go, oh, that's such bullshit.
I said, I'm getting you next time. Don't worry.
Yeah. Because his name was similar to another guy's name.
It was the exact same, but I didn't know his first name was that.
Yeah.
So I saw him on the call, but I didn't realize, I just thought it was a duplicate. Anyway,
yeah. So two guys have the exact same first and last name.
I'll pull them into the fold next time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
But the nice part was, because he said, oh, teacher never called on me. I said, shut up. You just were nervous, but that's fine. But he and I, just as an example, started like talking about those things and like what we want to do. And it's just nice. It's like, gives you some variety too. Like, oh, let's go see an old buddy who I haven't seen and let's just go walk around the lake, or meet me up and we'll jog a little bit, or we'll work out. We'll do something, but that also has like really helped, I think, with just like the mental health aspect of it, of community. And also, let's be totally real. Men tend to not share their feelings. Right. And if they do share their feelings, they might share them with their significant other, but maybe not always like with other dudes.
I think men to men is really important. Like, one of the things we open with is like, hey guys, a few ground rules here, complete discretion. So what we talk about in this group stays in this group. There's guys on the call that their wives or girlfriends are friends with my girlfriend. So like, that's a sacred bond that we have together on this call. And then also you can speak and share without the fear of judgment. And so we ask for vulnerability. And that is really powerful when you get a group of guys together who are willing to be vulnerable. And so far, it's been fantastic.
Yeah. And, I don't know if someone's listening to this and they're like, what is this? What's this episode all about? Like, this is not like a typical NCF&B podcast episode. It's not, because typically we sit there and talk about business and what we're doing in business, and how it related to the food and beverage industry and what's delicious and how it's work. But with all that said, this is like,
I would argue, sorry to cut
bigger.
Off. Yeah. I would argue this goes deeper because at the end of the day, I've never had, it may be because I'm an entrepreneur, but I've never had a sharp bifurcation between my personal life and my business life. To me, it's all one big life. And if you think about it, like I know I'm really blessed and lucky to have found that center of the Venn diagram of what I love, what I think I'm good at, and what I can make money at, all in the middle there. Ikigai is what they call it in Japanese tradition. So I realize that not everyone loves what they do, right? So I'm really blessed and grateful for that. I want to point that out. But for me, if you're taking care of yourself and investing in yourself, everything else in your life, the ripple effect will be massive. It'll be noticeable, and those around you will feel it. So if you're investing in yourself and you're doing everything aimed at your highest self, then your closest friends and family will feel it. Your colleagues will feel it. Your boss will feel it. It's the most important investment you can make. And it's going to affect your business in a positive way. Yeah. And for me, as I'm promoting health food, I can't be a slob. I have to be, doing everything I can to be in the best shape of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't have a healthy place and be a fat slob. Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
No.
And as I continue to go down this path and become a better version of myself, I'm looking at our businesses even in a different light, because I realize, and even talking to you and talking to people in the group and just other people in the community, people really struggle to put the pieces together for a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. So if I can lead by example, I'd rather do that all day long than talk about it. I'd rather just do the work and then lead by example.
Well, and I'm typically not like, I don't belong to any group. I think like that's the old Groucho Marx statement. I wouldn't belong to any club that would have me as its member. And I kind of believe in that. I've been like counterculture on so many things. Like, hell, I think people that are punk rock are the most bought into their brand than like. Punk rock is not punk rock the way I knew punk rock to be, like from the early 80s, where it was like, no, we are specifically going against the grain on purpose.
Sure.
I make the joke that like, someone's punk rock because they all dress exactly the same. And basically you look like your version of what like my 12-year-old daughter and all of her friends in 7th grade look like, where they all wear the same Lulu shorts and the same, whatever. It's like, it's all the same. And I bring this whole point up because I don't tend to like to be a part of anything. Even I'm a Raider fan. They're like they're the anti team of the league. And that's kind of the whole vibe. Even, and other Raider fans, I don't want to be friends with. Like they're fine, but they're all nuts. We all know. Like sure. Raider fans are insane. Yeah. But I bring it up because like this group, this group could be things that would, I'd say, turn me off in a particular sense. Like if we started talking too much about religion or spirituality and all that, and I'm not really a guy that goes down that path. And, when we're talking about not necessarily sobriety, but I think just putting yourself in check. I mean, you yourself have kind of decided to not drink, but like you said, it's not a permanent thing, and you're not holding this rule against yourself. If you want a glass of wine with a steak, you're going to have a glass of wine. It's just, this is where your head is right now.
That's always been my philosophy with these type of things. It's like, hey, I'm putting out a prompt to the world. If you want to join me, come on. If not, no big deal. I wish you the best of luck. I want everyone to be as happy and successful as humanly possible. I know that success and happiness ultimately comes through sacrifice and suffering. And if you think you can do it in your comfort zone, I'm sorry to say that you're wrong. Unless of course you were handed things, which, I wasn't, but if you were, that's, good for you. Well, yes. But like pain, sacrifice, and suffering makes making positive strides and accomplishing your goals that much better. And that's where the growth truly happens. So for me, I will never say, don't do this, don't do that. I will simply say, this is what's worked for me. Here are some tools and resources. Mm-hmm. And I'm just a guy who believes that, the better you treat yourself and the more investment you make in your own health, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the better those around you are going to be, the better your community is going to be. And that's why I started Happy and Hale, because everyone has to eat. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the problems that we have in this country start by what you put into your body. Yeah. At a young age even, right? I mean, the obesity epidemic, the ultra processed foods epidemic, you name it. And it's not showing signs of slowing down, which is really sad. All that to say, I want to lead by example. I want to provide tools and resources, and that's all I can do. I'm not going to force anything on anybody.
Well, and you said we were having this like lunch recently, and the idea of like sacrifice came up, and I think you at some point said like a part of Max needs to die for the new Max to be born, right, or whatever.
100%.
And that stuck with me, and I was like, yeah, because if I keep the same trend of like what I'm doing, things that I know that I don't necessarily feel good about doing, and I just keep doing those things while I'm also, say, working out every day and in eating right, it's like, well, but in the end, you still have that pull in you and that conflict of like what you're really trying to do with your soul, and it goes all the way around. So that's been, I think, the biggest leader in my brain or motivator is like kind of letting go of like some stupid bullshit stuff that maybe I think I'm defined as,
That's a great point. Listen, I identified for a long time as the life of the party, someone who could have some cocktails, go out, bop around town, have a good time. And sometimes it worked out perfectly and sometimes it didn't. But at the end of the day, that version of me had to die in order for this new, better, more evolved and more clear thinking version of me to be born.
Yeah.
And that's just growing up. And some men never grow up, and that's okay. And again, I'm not saying that, hey, if you drink your whole life, you're not a grown up at all. I'm just saying, for me personally, I needed that version of me to die. Just like I saw a quote recently about when you get married for a man, the reason you wear the same outfit at a wedding and a funeral is because there's a part of you that's dying. The bachelor mindset is dying.
Yeah.
The texting random girls is dying. The going out to and doing whatever you want at all hours of the night is dying. Like, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah. I was the opposite of that. I was the guy in a relationship that didn't text girls and didn't do all those things. And now I'm at the other end of that, which is funny because like you were becoming more of that family man and partner to someone, whereas I'm actually like trying to find out who I am more as a independent soul and then just take it in from there.
Sure.
So that's even interesting to kind of manage as well. But I've also decided that like I need less like confusion with like the dating life right now. I need it to just be.
I'm glad you came to that conclusion yourself, because I agree. I mean, you need, I think you and anybody, and again, I'm glad you brought that up, because everyone's on their own path. And so that's why I'm not overly prescriptive about the formula to getting what you want out of life. And some people honestly may be okay with 60% of their potential. And that's okay too. Everyone's on their own journey. And for you, I would agree with you. I think going into dating now, while you're trying to really dive into your own self-exploration and your journey of optimizing your health in every capacity, it's probably good for you to focus on yourself right now and then become the person that's worth loving, become the person that you would want to date. And then you'll find that person will walk into your life at some point when you're ready.
Yeah. But it's not to say that I'm not easily distracted.
We all are. You're not alone there.
When beautiful people are walking by you, it's kind of hard to.
I read another quote recently that I really liked. It said, ready isn't a feeling. You hear people say, I'm just not ready. Ready isn't a feeling. Ready is a decision. Now, there's things that, come before that period to say, hey, I am now ready to do this. But sometimes it's harder to start in different times of your life. And so I don't discount that at all. That sometimes, you're just not ready to put stuff down and kill a part of yourself to have another part of you reborn. But eventually, again, which is why I led this the quote that led the entire group from forming was, if the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, now's the time.
Yeah.
If not now, when?
Yeah. And I liked it. I liked that there was almost a little sense of urgency to it as well. That's the funny part. I actually have, this is how old I am, folks. I'm going to my 30th high school reunion.
I love that.
In about a month, maybe like 3 weeks. So it's essentially when we decided to do this, it was like exactly a month to the day of like when I'm going to be there. And so I'm flying back home to San Jose, where I'm from, and I'm going to see all my buddies, all my fat, bald buddies. Yes, I know. And that's just the women. But I'm just kidding. But no. But it'll be cool to see everybody. And it's like, yeah, and everyone always wants to look their best when they haven't seen people that they've seen for years, Sure. So it'll be nice just to be like, kind of dried out, kind of leaned up, just even after a month. I'm sure I'll feel significantly better. And that'll be also a good motivator to like just keep going.
Yeah. And I mean, to that point, it's tough. And again, I'm the first to note that I haven't married. I don't have children yet. Life can grind you down.
Yeah.
Between family, between the job. But at the end of the day, it comes down to priorities. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but I can't think of a more important number one priority than your own physical health, because then you can fill your own cup and then you can overflow into everyone else's.
Let me ask you, so because you work out pretty often, I assume, right? What is like a typical week of working out for you? What are you typically doing?
So I am 4 days a week at Capital Strength and Conditioning.
Okay.
That's Matt. That's knowing the group.
Yeah.
I went to college with Matt. I met him freshman year. We lived across the hall from each other at NC State. And he's been asking me to come work out for a long time. And after football, I just kind of got burned out. I made a million excuses, but I loved spin class. I would do yoga. I would do a few other things, but I would always get a little timid of weight training, resistance training.
Yeah.
And so when this whole thing went down in middle of May, early June, I was like, you know what? Now's the time. And so I've never felt better. I've never felt stronger. Matt has really helped me. And it's a private gym for personal training is kind of how he describes it. So
yeah.
I work out there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, typically 9 to 10 a.m. with Ben, who's my trainer, and then he has 2 or 3 people at the same time. So he just guides me, sets me up, makes sure I'm doing the right thing.
Nice.
And then I'll walk typically 10,000 steps a day minimum, so call it 70,000 steps a week. I love walking, put on podcasts, read a book, audio book.
Yeah.
Walk through, I live downtown, so I'll walk through Dix Park around NC State, a little nostalgic walk for me where all my old classes were.
Yeah.
And then head back. Sometimes I'll bring the dog out. So those are the main forms of fitness at the moment.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, that's a lot of mine has been cardio based, whether it's like ellipticals or treadmills, but a lot of it's just been walking or jogging around my neighborhood, getting on the greenways. And then it's just been lifting, like to an extent. And I like to do a lot of floor stuff like core and like presses and holds, and because Daddy needs to work on the gut. And
that's diet right there.
Yeah, this is diet.
That's 90% nutrition.
Yeah.
But walking is great too. I mean, it's good on your joints. It's good for mental health. It's one of the best things you do. And from a longevity and a fountain of youth standpoint, weight training and walking are 2 of the best things you can do.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you mentioned NC State. This has nothing to do with anything except for we're on a food and beverage podcast, so I have to mention it.
Please.
This was super cool. For those that may have seen, I put a post up, but I was invited. Brian, who's the voice of the show, right? I don't even use the intro music anymore. I use the music, but I just get into it now, so you don't hear Brian's voice anymore. Sorry, Brian. But who always would do the. And now you're listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast.
You did that pretty well.
That was Brian. Thank you. He was the voice of the Carolina Hurricanes. He's an alum of NC State, and I think he has a couple degrees there now. Anyhow, he invited me to go this past Friday because there was a new segment or a new show or a new presentation that they were putting out together called Human Touch. And it was led by their dean at what's the school, Chas? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And so the dean, who was phenomenal, and I don't mean to oversimplify her, but like just think as witty and funny and like and even physically like a Tina Fey. She was like super cool and super engaging. But they brought in Alton Brown.
Wow.
So Alton Brown, if you don't know who he is, Good Eats on the Food Network shows. He was the host of Iron Chef America, and he's written quite a few books, a new one recently. So this was cool. We got invited to go. Brian had VIP passes, so we got to go behind. We got to go to the food and beverage hour before the event started, and there Alton was walking around just shaking hands, kissing babies. There's some crazy food there. In fact, one table was just all insect food.
Oh yeah.
So there were ants and there were beetles,
crickets,
and there were crickets.
Protein,
yeah. So I had the ant dish. And then I went, okay, I've done that. I'm good. We don't need to do the beetles.
Sure.
But, and then, so we had some fun food. But Alton Brown's around, and Brian introduces me. And it was great because he introduced me and he said, hey, Mr. Brown, this is one of my closest friends, Max Trujillo. He also hosts a food and beverage podcast. To which then Alton says, a food and beverage podcast? What's it called? I said, the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. He goes, well, I should be a guest on your show.
Let's go.
And I said, yes, you should. That would be amazing. He goes, well, how do we go about doing that, Max? And I go, he goes, you need to ask me. And I said, okay, Mr. Alton Brown, would you please be a guest on my podcast? He said, for certain, hand me your card. And I did. And he goes, I will reach out to you in 2 weeks after all this media stuff is done. And let's get it on the books.
Wow. It's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah, it'll be cool. So to listeners, stay tuned because I'm hoping that this will come up in the next couple of weeks and look for it on social media because it'll be so cool when he comes on.
It's exciting.
Yeah. But we've talked about even kind of taking this mentality, the guys and mental health and fitness and all that, to even maybe like do something more like specific. So I don't know if you don't want to get into that stuff just yet.
When I was here a couple of years ago, I saw your podcast. I've done Gilio and Obi's podcast a couple of times.
Yes.
We sponsor that with Happy and Hale. I love meeting people. I'm a very curious person. I love everyone has a story. My mom used to tell me everybody has a story, and I'm curious about those people's stories. So I don't know if it's a full podcast or if it's some kind of social series where I'm sitting down with people. But you certainly inspired me, and I would maybe, as we continue to build Happy and Hale and other things in the community, whether it's the Great Lock-In, talking to people who are inspirational or motivational to help people live their best lives.
Yeah.
So, here, let me practice. I got a couple questions for you.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
All right. Let's see. I have a couple favorite questions. All right. Number one, Max. If your life was a book, what would this chapter be titled?
The Reclamation.
Love that. How old did you just turn, or how old do you know?
Well, a week from today, I will turn 48.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
What would your 48-year-old self tell your 38-year-old self?
Stop wasting time.
What is your definition of a life well lived?
Happiness, love, family, Raiders winning the Super Bowl, and I just like calm. We talked about stress earlier. I want to be less stressed. And so having that calm is something I look forward to.
I love that. All right, last question. If you could summarize your philosophy of life in one sentence, what would it be?
Wow. I would say for Max Trujillo, I always make a great first impression. Making a long-lasting impression is my journey. is where I need to get. I'm good on day 1, but I got to be great on day 300 is my thing.
It's time to lock in.
Exactly.
Max Trujillo, everybody, on the Tyler Helikson podcast of the future, to be named. All right, thanks for having me, bud. Great to see you as always.
Yeah, man. Thanks. None of that was rehearsed. I had no idea what he was about to ask me, as you could tell. No, this is great. Tyler, dude, I look forward to doing this with you. I look forward to the stuff that I'm going to get out of it, but I'm looking forward to like what we're all going to get out of it. And I like calling you a friend.
Yeah.
I like just having you as a community member, and I look forward to all the things. You've got some cool stuff planned, and I want to be right there while you're doing it. It's good to know you, man. It's good to have you in this community. So thank you.
Back at you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. We'll talk soon. And all right, everybody, have a great one. Go lock in yourself and message us on Instagram. We'll put a post out about this. Let us know how you feel. And if you need help getting a group together and what that means, it's not a bad thing to pull your own friends together and get that resource together. So, hey, maybe you'll be locked in as well as we continue this story. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. By rating us online, you're helping others to discover our show. Follow us on all platforms at NCFB Pod.